card levitates between the magician's hands. The card visually changes colour. The coin turns to a card. The box instantly disappears. The middle card changes from black to red. The magician takes a deck of cards and shuffles them. He then takes the top card and tells the spectator he will rub it into the table and make it disappear. He rubs the card, but it doesn't disappear. He tries again, and the card disappears completely. This is a very simple trick. Take a card and try and rub it into the table. This will of course not work. Put the card on the side of the deck as shown, and practice using your thumb to slide it flush onto the deck. This is the secret to the trick. As your hand comes over, it looks like you're taking the card, when in reality you're just sliding it back onto the top of the deck. Turn your wrist over too, and this will make the vanish look even more deceiving. The magician takes a deck of cards, and they vanish instantly. This trick requires you to lap the box. As you open your hand, use the thumb to fire the box back down into your lap. This will create the convincing illusion that you've just vanished the box. This trick does require a table to perform. The magician visually changes the top card. This is called the Erdős change. Use your palm to push forward the top card as shown. This will reveal the card below. Then use the base of your hand to pull back the bottom card. This will cause it to slide out the pack. Now push it over the top card using your palm. This will create the illusion that the top card has changed. You need to practice this move for a little while before you can perform it. If you are interested in learning incredible card magic, including flourishes, sleights, tricks and more, and tricks that are just too good to reveal on YouTube, then check out my magic course in the first link in the description below. The course contains some of the best tricks ever created. The magician produces a card from nowhere. This trick requires you to get into the JW grip. Place the short edge of the card against your middle finger, and then use the rest of your fingers to cover it as shown. You can now reach through and grab this card, and it will look as if it's been produced from nowhere. The magician takes a deck, turns over the top card and shakes it, and it changes. This is a very powerful and easy trick to do. Turn over the top card and reveal its value. You now need to get a break under the top two cards. You can do this in any way you please. I use a pinky count, but you can simply grab the top two cards if you like. Place the corners of these cards between your thumb and middle finger, and then using your first finger, rotate the card. To perform the change, simply do this rotation while shaking the card. The card disappears and reappears. This trick requires a single card. Hold the top edge of the card between your first finger, middle finger, and thumb. Extend your middle finger slightly and pull back on the card. This move is called the flip stick. Practice the flip stick until it's fast. Now perform the flip stick under the cover of your other hand, and the card will appear to vanish. The magician takes a card and floats it in between his hands. He then catches the card again. This trick requires some invisible thread. I'll leave a link in the description where you can buy this. It's very cheap to get. It's hard to see on camera, but there's a thin thread that stretches around my hand. Place the thread around your hand and thumb. Then using your other hand, loop it around your first finger. This creates a base where you can place a card on top of it. The card will look as if it's floating. This is incredibly visual and mystical magic. The magician has a deck of cards. He turns over the top card, and it suddenly changes colour. This is quite an easy trick. Turn over the top card, and then you need to get a break under the top card and the card below it. I use a pinky count, but do this in any way you like. You can just grab the top two cards if you like. Hold the cards between your thumb and middle finger. Then using the hand holding the deck, pull down on the corners of the card. This creates tension, and when you release enough pressure, the card will flip over. Keep practicing this and you can flip the card all the way over, and the card will appear to change. The coin changes into a card. This trick is incredibly visual. This trick requires a coin and a card. Practice dropping the coin onto your hand as shown. This is quite simple to do. This creates the illusion that the coin is gone. Hold the card in JW grip that I taught you earlier and practice producing it by flicking your wrist forwards. Now just perform both moves at the same time. This trick is effective because two visual bits of magic happen at the same time. The card disappears into thin air. This trick requires you to place a magnet on the back of the card. You can use blue tack or glue. You also need a magnet attached to an elastic thread. I'll leave a link in the description where you can get one of these, or you can make it yourself. The magnet will stick to the card. Clip the elastic to your shirt by using a safety pin. When you let go of the card, it will fire back and appear to vanish visually. The card visually changes colour. Hold two cards between your first finger, middle finger, and thumb. Using your first finger, pull the first card towards you in a snapping motion. Keep practicing this move until it's almost instantaneous. Make sure that the face of the card is angled towards the spectator's eye line so they cannot see the card hidden behind it. This is called the snap change. The magician has three cards. He tells the spectator to focus on the middle card, which is black. He snaps his fingers, and the card suddenly changes colour. This trick requires 4 cards. I use 2 jokers a black card and a red card. Practice the snap change that I just taught you in the previous trick. Now simply do this with one joker behind and in front of the two cards. Your middle finger should be in between the front card and the middle card to perform the snap change. If you've learnt the snap change, then this trick is very easy to do. It just looks even more impossible because the cards seem to be trapped by two other cards. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and follow my Instagram. I'll leave a link in the description where you can find it.